and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where it is indeed match day, but the news simply does not stop. Busy day here indeed on the transfer front. We're going to be talking about Frenkie de Jong, about Ansu Fati, and you guessed it, Nico Williams, because there's a lot to unpack right now about what is going on behind the scenes at the club in terms of many different players. So come on, and let's do it. But if we do indeed begin here with another fantastic super thanks donation coming in from Victor, who says that Fermin Lopez during the Olympics has been unstoppable. Hansi Flick will make him an even bigger attacking threat on the pitch, and I absolutely agree with that there. Fermin, like I say, seems like a real Flick kind of player, and hopefully he can maximise all of that ability. Thank you indeed for the support, and I actually do want to start by talking again about Fermin, because we spoke about his eagerness to return, even despite playing the Euros and the Olympics this summer, but it's actually emerged in the media now that he was even more determined to come back than we ever thought, because apparently he wanted to come back to training immediately after the Olympics was over. He didn't want any vacation at all. He was ready to come straight back, but the club had to step in. You know, I think they said to Fermin, it's admirable, it's fantastic, we love your commitment, but look, I think it would be best if you had just a little time away, if you had there a little bit of rest before returning to the group. So Fermin there, fantastic attitude, top quality work rate, and all of that will be returning to Hansi Flick's squad very soon. And then we do move on to the confirmed news that we had there on Sunday evening, the news that Sergi Roberto will indeed leave Barcelona this summer. Of course, he's been out of contract since the 1st of July anyway. I don't really know why it's taken the club so long to announce it here officially, because very early on there, Flick made it very, very clear Roberto would not be in his plans. He should not be renewed, and the decision had been fully made. So it was very, very clear that he would have to be moving on. And of course, Roberto now himself, he can focus on that next step for him. Barça will be paying tribute to him with a farewell event on Tuesday. Roberto will be joined by Joan Laporta in that event. And of course, throughout Roberto's career here at Barça, there have been ups, there have been downs, big highs and big lows as well, of course. But he's a player who has been at the club for nearly 20 years in total now. Joined up in 2006 there to La Masia. And to get all the way to the first team, it takes tremendous hard work to actually stay here. Takes even more. He's maximised his talent, I feel. He applied himself in several different positions, several different areas of the field to try and help the team. And of course, no matter what there, we will all remember, and it will go down in Barca history, his winning goal against Paris Saint-Germain. That is a moment that will go down in footballing history, to be honest, and one that he can always, always cherish. So all the best there, and good luck. Roberto leaves Barca. I also do, guys, want to talk again about Vitor Roque's future, because last night it was also reported that Real Betis are one of the clubs that are interested in taking Roque on loan for the current season. And I actually think, guys, that Real Betis potential move, that one could be a good one for Vitor Roque, because I did have another really kind super thanks coming in here. Thank you very much for that support, saying, well, could we drop him down to Barca B level? Could we keep him at the club, register him there? And then, of course, he gets some minutes with the B team. But, of course, that's in the third tier. That's going to be tricky in terms of really developing Roque into the player that we need. I think ideally you want him to get La Liga experience. You would want him to go there to a club where he's going to play regular football, but I think also a club where there's a bit of pressure too, and that's why I like Real Betis. Playing in front of that home crowd, absolutely incredible atmosphere every single home game, that's going to acclimatise him well to European football here, to La Liga football, and that could be a really, really positive move in my opinion. But what I do want to say about Roque's expected exit, when it comes to FFP here, when we're talking about trying to get salary margin, trying to actually create space on the wage bill, Roque's exit, guys, it won't actually do anything. You know, it will have absolutely no impact at all from that FFP point of view, because remember, he is not registered anyway. Barca have not registered Roque, so he won't be removed from our FFP wage bill because he's not even there. So the loan is important for him to get regular football, to save Barca actually paying his wages financially, but in terms of FFP salary margin, nothing actually will change by Roque leaving. However, guys, one player that we must discuss today in detail it is all about Frenkie de Jong. Because I'm starting to hear now more and more rumours in the media about Frenkie de Jong, about his future, about the fact that Barca would potentially be open to selling him this summer and at a cut price. We've even heard rumours there that say for between 40 to 50 million, Barca would actually consider selling him for that amount there. And my feeling right now, speaking honestly here, Barca would definitely sell Frenkie de Jong right now if they could. That is my honest opinion. If they could get the offer in, they would sell him. Because I believe they're trying to get the word out there, they're trying to put it out there that their valuation has dropped and that they are welcoming a sale. And there's two big reasons for this right now. Number one, guys, Barca, in my opinion, are absolutely petrified that Frenkie de Jong leaves the club for free in 2026. Now, remember that we've been trying to renew de Jong, we've been trying to get him on a new contract there for years now with absolutely no success. And to be honest, the closer that contract comes to expiring, the closer we get to 2026, it's only going to get harder. It's not going to get easier there to negotiate with Frenkie de Jong because obviously as that time ticks down, Frenkie knows he could leave the club for free, join another club there on a free transfer and receive a massive signing bonus with big wages as well. Club will save on the transfer fee, they'll get him for free, and they will bump up that salary. So that's the problem right now. The second problem, and this is why Barca are not only open to a cut price deal, but why, in my opinion, they still won't get offers, it's the injury concern. Right now, with Frenkie de Jong, he still has an ankle problem and he remains on the sidelines. We have hardly heard anything. Think about it. You haven't heard anything at all this summer about Frenkie de Jong, about when he'll be back, about how his recovery is progressing. That is because the ankle one, it's a really tricky one for Barca to treat. They're not exactly sure of when he's going to be back, how he's recovering, if he's still going to have pain in that ankle. And it's just a nightmare scenario right now for everyone involved, because what you've got here is Barca's highest earning player unable to play due to a concerning injury, which also means he is unable to leave the club. And all of this while his contract is running down. And that is why Barca, they are really starting to panic. And the club need to understand here the situation they're in. Because, of course, it's not only Frenkie, it's also exactly the same situation with Ronald Araujo, a player who is out injured, several months, injury problems, and his contract also expires in 2026. So Barca here have to understand the situation, they have to act, they have to try and be proactive. But of course, there's only so much they can do, and that is why they are panicking, and they are trying to see if anything could happen now. However, guys, then we do move on to the topic of Ansu Fati, who is another one, by the way, that over the past few weeks, we haven't really heard any update at all on how he's progressing with his injury. Are things going well? Is it going smoothly? Can we expect him back quite imminently? It was another one of those injuries whereby it was kind of like wait and see, see how he goes, see how he recovers, then we'll decide when he can return. So things on Ansu are very, very unclear right now. I'm still gutted, of course, that he wasn't able to take part in the USA tour. That was really, really sad for him. But then last night we heard Deco has asked Ansu Fati to find another club. He has told their Jorge Mendes to look for a way out from Barca because there is no place in the lineup, no place in the team for Ansu Fati in the coming season. And I've got to say, guys, that rumour took me by surprise because there's no real reason, there's no real change here over the past few weeks. It's not like Ansu has played poorly. It's not like he's had a new injury. Nothing has really changed imminently. But as Deco now told Ansu and his agent that they need to look elsewhere. And I just think right now it's a rumour. I wouldn't look too far into it because as far as we're aware, Flick still trusts in him. He got injured. Even after that injury, Flick openly said, look, we are counting on him. We still believe in him. That doesn't change the plan. He tried to reassure Ansu in many ways. He wants to see him get opportunities. Now, has anything happened behind the scenes to change things over the past few days? Is there any reason why we haven't heard too much about the recovery? These are all things that we will have to wait and see. And that's where, of course, things do get a little bit interesting. Because last night we heard Ansu Fati has been told to leave the club. Then we started to hear rumours that maybe Rafinha, he will accept leaving this summer after all. And then you're thinking, well, Is something happening then? Is something happening at the club? Somebody coming that would mean that these wingers, these wide players are suddenly starting to look elsewhere? What about Nico Williams? Because obviously Laporta apparently has entered these negotiations and it seemed as though maybe things had progressed a bit more. Laporta apparently gave Nico every assurance that Barca would be able to sign him, would be able to register him, and Laporta also made it very clear to Nico that this is a one-time offer this summer. Now yesterday, of course, we spoke about it in some detail. Sports Ivan San Antonio, who is usually a reliable journalist, he said that Nico had said yes to Barca. It was a huge report there. And it was a big gamble, I've got to say, from Ivan San Antonio to come out when nobody else was saying it. He said, right, Nico has given his approval. It's done. He said yes to Barca. Now it's over to the club. Now, what we saw in the aftermath of that report there is that nobody joined him. No other high-profile journalist said, yeah, we're hearing that too. Fabrizio Romano said, look, that is not the information that we've received. Gerard Romero in the aftermath said they're not aware that Barca had received any final decision from Nico. So Ivan San Antonio there, he has gone all in on this. He has really gone big to say that Nico had said yes. He's the only one who said it, and as of right now, that has not been confirmed. But again, guys, the feeling that I truly have, and I've had it for a while, and I'd say it's stronger now than ever, I truly believe this is on Barca. I actually do believe here that Nico either wanted or wants to come to the club. I believe that he may have even given his approval. We don't know. But I just think here there's still so much work that needed to be done. In terms of Barca here, finalising exits. You know, they've done a few, they've done a little bit of business there, but nothing significant, nothing as of yet in terms of outgoings has actually happened. It took them ages even to get the money there that was owed from Libero, and Barca need to get their FFP in order to be able to sign and register Nico. And of course we signed Olmo on top of all of that, so another player has joined even before him. So I can understand here Nico thinking, I want things done before this is finalised. I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to agree, I'm not going to make the move before Barca get their house in order. Because then you've also got, and you can't forget this here, you've got the pressure from Athletic Club towards Nico Williams. You've got his family who are also staying. Just stay at the club, please stay here, stay with your brother, play in the Europa League, all of these things, you just as well stay, and the connection there with the club, which means here that if Barca are unable to get into a position to sign Nico in a timely fashion, he is actually fine with staying. It's not actually the end of the world for Nico here. I believe that he would have loved to have joined Barca, but if he has to stay at Athletic, I think he's happy to do that too. It was always going to be Barca or Athletic this summer. No other club was considered. He is happy where he is, and that is why today, guys, we get this announcement. We see here that Athletic Club have given Nico Williams the number 10 shirt for the coming season there, inheriting that from Iker Muniain. They're doing everything in their power here to keep him at the club. And honestly, guys, I'd say this is much worse than the original video that we saw. In terms of him making a move to Barca, this is kind of disastrous right here. To see him getting a new number, getting the number 10, and then he actually said, after he got that shirt, I asked Muniain for the number 10. He said, I'm really proud to be able to wear this number, to make history like he has done at this club. And I just look at those words there. I look at the number 10, I look at all of this stuff, and I just think, well, surely that has to be it now. We've been going back and forth here every day. Something different on Nico Williams. He's coming, then he's not coming. Is he signing? Is he not signing? Is there a deadline? Is there no deadline? I mean, I'm exhausted with it right now, guys, and I'm sure that you guys are the same. You know, obviously, we wanted it to happen. We really, really did. I think Nico at Barca would have been incredibly exciting. I'm surprised, actually, that it may not happen. I really, really am. I thought that we're going to be able to get this done, but I just think there's too much uncertainty right now. I think Barca still have a lot that they need to do, that they need to work out and clean up at the club. And that's just the situation right now. That is where we stand in terms of Nico Williams, in terms of Barca, in terms of the transfer window. It has been a roller coaster ride, and I'm sure it will continue to be. At the same time, I don't want to close the book here. I don't want to close the door entirely on the transfer window. Things can still happen, things can still be done. And let's see where these coming days take us, guys. With Barca, you can never rule things out. You can never say never. But what do you make of all of this? What do you make of Nico there getting the number 10? And what do you make as well of that Frenkie de Jong situation? I will see you guys very, very soon indeed. Lots more coming up. Thank you indeed for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Vejka, El Barça.